I am Jan Maisel A. Ilagan from Bachelor of Science and Customs Administration, Section 2B. Section 701, Transaction Value System Method 1. The transaction value shall be price actually paid or payable for the goods when sold for export to the Philippines, adjusted in accordance with the provision of this section, provided that A. There are no restrictions as to the disposition or use of the goods by the buyer other than restrictions which 1. Are imposed or required by law or by the Philippines authorities. 2. Limit the geographical area in which the goods may be sold, or 3. Do not substantially affect the value of the goods. B. The sale or price is not subject to some conditions or consideration for which a value cannot be determined with respect to the goods being valued. And C. The buyer and the seller are not related, or where the buyer and the seller are related, that the transaction value is acceptable for customs purposes under the provisions hereof. For the purposes of this act, persons shall be deemed related only if 1. They are officers or directors of one another's business. 2. They are legally recognized partner in business. 3. There exists an employer-employer relationship between them. 4. Any person directly or indirectly owns, controls, or holds 5% or more of the outstanding voting stock or shares of both seller and buyer. 5. One of them directly or indirectly controls the other. 6. Both of them directly or indirectly controlled by a third person. 7. Together, they directly or indirectly control a third person. Or 8. They are members of the same family, including those related by affinity or consanguinity up to the 4th civil degree. Persons who are associated in business with one another. Persons who are associated in business with one another, in that one is the sole agent, sole distributor, or sole concessionaire, however described, of the other, shall be deemed to be related for the purposes of this act if they fall within any of the 8 cases cited in the preceding paragraph. In a sale between related persons, the transaction value shall be accepted as basis for customs valuation whenever the importer demonstrate that such value closely approximates one of the following occurring at or about the same time. A. The transaction value in sales to unrelated buyer for identical or similar goods for export to the same country of importation. 2. The customs value of identical or similar goods as determined under the provision of Section 704 of this Act. Or C. The customs value of identical or similar goods are determined under the provision of Section 705 of this Act. In determining the transaction value, the following shall be added to the price actually paid or payable for the for the imported goods. 1. To the extent that they are incurred by the buyer but are not included in the price actually paid or payable for the imported goods. 2. Value of any part of the proceeds of any subsequent resale, disposal, or use of the imported goods that occurs directly or indirectly to the sellers. 3. Cost of transport of the imported goods from the port of exportation to the port of the entry in the Philippines. 4. Loading, unloading, and handling charges. Loading, unloading, and handling charges associated with the transport of the imported goods from the country of exportation to the port of entry in the Philippines. Or 5. Cost of insurance. All additions to the price actually paid or payable shall be made only on the basis of objective and quantifiable data.